The day I stepped out, that's power. I want these little niggas to see that. I didn't get that power from guns because there's no guns in jail. I got that power from books and from thinking and by strategizing. The day I stepped out, that's power. I want these little niggas to see that. I didn't get that power. I didn't get that power from guns because there's no guns in jail. See that? I didn't get that power from guns because there's no guns in jail. These little niggas to see that. I didn't get that power from guns because there's no guns in jail. I got that power from books and from thinking and by strategizing. That's what I want little niggas.
Fast break. I ain't lying. You know what we do, man. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. You know what we do, man. I ain't lying. I ain't lying.
Here we go again. This is the only reason for the gunplay. Now, let's put a eye on this confusion that we all not aware of. And the confusion that I'm speaking on is, how do you allow your language that you speak make you to be identified as the race that you are residing in? Thank you all for tuning in to the Reason for Gunplay, Real Talk 101, the Gangsters channel. Now, I'm sickening to my stomach to see this go on, and it's causing a separation on a very, very large scale, that your language identify who you are. And I had this debate with someone, and I'm gonna reference some nationalities to just give you an idea of me explaining my differences my differences of accepting that this whole idea of your language make you the nationality that you are residing in. And I want to use this example because in Jamaica, right, they say that you have Asian looking people from, I'm pretty sure you guys probably already know about this, speaking Jamaican. So now the people at the island make them Jamaican now because they speak the language. And this is the ignorance that I'm kind of baffled about, knowing that people with so much high intelligence, not just the people from the island, but just across the board with every nationality, as far as I can see. Now, there are some groups that will say, oh, no, he's not, because you speak another language, you're not still one of us. I'm pretty sure that there are some out there who are like that. But now, let's get into it. Because you speak another language, don't make you that lineage. And it's so crazy that people with so much smartness and intelligence, quote unquote, don't comprehend this thing. Anybody can learn a language, speak a language. If you're in a set apart in another country, you become like they say that we was Africans, right? And being amongst the Europeans, we learned to speak English. But are we European? You understand what I'm saying? So it's just so ignorant of us to be deceived and misled, because this man that's ruling over us have poured out this from the top on down. And it's causing a silent confusion, meaning that people accept it. We got a fight coming up. Canelo versus so-and-so. Canelo, the Mexican fighter, so-and-so. But when you look at the Mexican lineage, and then you look at Canelo, you can see there is a big differences. Because although Canelo speaks the language because his parents probably, whoever his parents might be Edomite. Dad might be an Edomite. Same, it looks like the guy, he looks more like Prince Charles with the hair, the red man, the pink man, right? Now, I don't want to base this on color, but I'm going to have to for this instances because he doesn't share any of the features of the lineage, of the Mexican lineage. We all know the Mexican lineage, dark black hair. I mean, I don't want to go into the details of it because we already know what it is. But because Canelo speaks the language and represent that part, they say he's Mexican. And this is what I made a video when I was talking about what was going on in Puerto Rico. How you had this man who speak Spanish, but when you look at his dad looks like an Edomite. Dad look like a Caucasian man, blonde eye, blue eyes type figure. And see, a lot of us, we get confused in who we are and what people belong to our lineage and who is our brethren, who is our so-and-so, who is our neighbor, so-and-so. There's enemies within. And I can't get no better, easy depiction of me explaining this to you, how subtle this is. That we can be manipulated to accept anybody into our culture, into our lineage, when they're even not our lineage. But for us, meaning everybody, they don't care. They have made it to where the language identify who you are. And this is why a lot of things go on in certain parts of the world, because these people that are ruling over the people who are naturally or originally from that place, they don't have the love for them. This is why there is turmoil and so, because those leaders, they're really not from the people. They're not from their same lineage. They just look like them. They may speak the language. And it's something you all need to observe. You need to look at these people, anybody, just to see who they are, because we even have people over here in the United States claim to be us. You have people on YouTube, busters, thinking that every black person that commits a crime is African American. And they will say like, oh, these Americans, so-and-so, these African American, blah, blah, blah. When you look at it, they have a foreign background. But y'all don't hear me though. I've come upon a lot of podcasts and YouTubers who deliberately, as though they are agents, will put this propaganda out like every time something happens, it's a so-called African American, when it's really not. They just assuming because the skin color, they are African American, but not observing their own lineage or their own families. not looking to identify that, saying that was kind of messed up, but they don't want to identify themselves as being the same color. But they will say African American because they look like black people, not knowing that those black people that's committing crimes are not always African Americans. And I've come across some YouTubers who put out that propaganda saying, oh, it's African Americans, these American, so and so and so, when I had to correct them. And like I said, a lot of YouTube agents are on YouTube. They help promoting this hatred, this dislikement that is brought upon African Americans when we're not the ones who are out there doing it. A lot of us, our lineages is in prison. Yeah. So when you got other groups coming over who's been here for about two generations or whatever may be the case, they're doing the crimes now. But they don't be identified as the crime doers. So now we look into these languages that has caused, because you speak, it's caused a differences. It has caused a separation among the ones who are family. Among the nationalities. And me giving that description of Canelo, an example, just to show you how meticulously it is. Because you speak the language don't make you necessarily the lineage of that family. When you look upon these countries, you have white-looking people ruling over the original people of those areas. Mainly. But you have Africans of Africa ruling in Africa. Right? So we know they're Africans because they have the African features. But when you look in all these other places, everybody look white. You look at over in the Middle East now, white looking so-and-so. You're looking like the Afghanistans, who they just brought over here, white looking people. You talk about somebody who can steal the identity of the original, of stealing the original story from those who made a story. You're looking at the people who does that. And they've been doing it for quite some time, and even today they're doing it today. Johnny come lately. The man who steals the identity and he puts on their clothes, their image, and say, I am he now. Right? You see him in the movies now, stealing identity. He's in the karate movies now. He's in the Western now. You see what I'm saying? This man steals identities. And he puts on their image and he uses it to deceive people. You talk about Satan, man. You're looking at that dude right before your eyes. And remember, in closing, in Ezekiel, O Lucifer, son of the morning, have thou fallen, so and so and so. You keep reading. And they looked upon him and said, is this the man? And I'll leave it right there. Holla.